Some people just stand out in a crowd. Excellent at their craft, excellent in their thinking. And they're not hard to find because they stand out. My name's Joe Crenshaw, and I'm looking for TheStandOuts. All right, thanks so much for coming. We're really glad you guys are here. I'm here with my friend Tom Miller. Tom, thanks for being here, brother.
Thrilled to be here, Joe.
Yes, sir. So with that, I just want to give you guys a little idea who Tom is. I'll let him do most of the talking, but Tom is actually the owner of the Lift Office. That's how we met. It's a community co-working space in Grapevine, Texas. He also is a professor at Western State University up in Colorado, and he's written some books. And so I'm going to let you just kind of give, first thing, just give us a little background on professional history and kind of where that's landed you today.
Sure. Gosh, a long time ago in a galaxy far, far away, I guess, right?
Yeah.
Was always an entrepreneur, the kid with the paper route, and that's back before people really used the word entrepreneur. I just needed to make some money.
Yeah.
A middle-class kid in Waco.
Sure.
Went to school and always had kind of a business working, and that grew into a business in the employee engagement space. I'm fast-forwarding a lot here.
Yeah, sure.
Spent 3 decades building that business. Had a real estate business along the way and did some infill work in northeast Tarrant County. We're sitting in South Lake, and actually across the street and down about a mile was a little deal I did. So small deals, and got to a spot in my career, my life probably is more appropriate, where I wanted to do something different. I really like working with young people, love it. And had been in enough college classrooms as a guest lecturer that I thought, I'd kind of like to do the college professor thing, and worked pretty hard to get a gig there. And Western State Colorado University said, hey, why don't you come teach here? So that's what I do now. It's a blast.
Yeah. So that's awesome. When I think Tom Miller, dude just wears 1,000 hats. I think entrepreneur, but with you, man, you've always stood out to me as excellent at what you do from a professional standpoint, but more so from a personal standpoint, just who you are with character. And then with that, I kind of want you just to talk about, because I know one of the things you're passionate about is influence. Mm-hmm. And I know that's something you do with your students up at Western State. So talk a little bit about the value of influence and kind of redefining that and what that looks like.
Yeah, thanks. That's a great question, and a pretty deep question. We were talking before the camera started rolling about kind of leadership, and like I shared with you, I've got a whiteboard in my office. It's got a few things on it. In the lower left-hand corner, I keep a word of a list of danger words, and it's words like leadership, like diversity, like communication. Just those words that when I hear them, I push back and I say, what do you exactly mean by that? And leadership is one of those, because I think it's all made up of something.
Sure.
And I'd prefer, when I hear leadership, too many people think that leadership is about a power authority. It's about position or paternity, what family you're from, possessions, how much do you have, and all of a sudden those people are presumed to be leaders. And I just think that's a lie. I think everybody is built to influence. So there's only one Joe Crenshaw, and it's a really cool thing. There's one Tom Miller. We each do unique things, and I think everybody has the opportunity to influence because we're all uniquely built. So when I talk to people about that, there's a model that I like, and it's character, community, and choice. So there's a thing that you do really, really well that's your character. And the best thing that any of us can do is understand where our superpowers are, what we're built to do. So whether you're a Darwin or a God person or somewhere in between, we are uniquely built.
Yeah.
And so what are those things that we do well? We typically do those things in community. And I think people too often aren't purposeful enough about their community. Sometimes community is where you land in a neighborhood, who your neighbors are. You can't do much about that. And yet we have choices about the people that we choose to do life with. And so if we're purposeful about that, if we work hard at that, we have specific character within community, and then we've got choices.
Yeah.
And that's where it's on us to go act and to be proactive. Ideas are easy, execution's hard. And I think to execute is key. So if I were defining leadership or transitioning leadership to influence, which would be preferred for me, that's the way I talk about it: character,
Yeah.
community, and choice.
Yeah, and so one of the things you mentioned was specifically about not just because you mentioned there's an organic community just based on your live and where you live and all that. So, but being purposeful with community and being intentional to surround yourself with a specific type of community that's really going to help you. So, for you, right, based on obviously your character and then being intentional with that community, how has that put into practice really impacted your success with some of the things that you've done?
You know, the more time I've spent on this earth, you grow a bit of wisdom whether you want to or not, and so it's easier to look back and see the steps that were taken by me, by Catherine, my wife, who I love and adore, and great life partner, and so often those decisions are made together. But I've always been attracted to, initially because I was just attracted, later because I was purposeful about it. Yeah. People that are leaning in hard and are doing things. Everybody's going to fail, and there's all kind of books you can read about fail fast and all those things, that different path. But I want to do life with people that are making change, that are really interested in changing the world, whether their definition of the world is their neighborhood or literally the world. It's been fascinating to me to do life with people, and I've been fortunate enough to do life with people that literally are all around the globe and have got big ideas and are executing those ideas and making change. It's just, I look back and I go, holy cow, how did a middle-class kid from Waco, end up being able to see and be a part of all of these experiences? It's been fun.
And I think for me, when I think about that, just with what you're doing right now, doing life with people who have the opportunity to make change or are making change, that's got to translate really well to your role in teaching the next generation. And so with that, just speak to, I know that's something that just fires you up, and you're so passionate about just really informing and help educating and creating opportunity for the next generation. So speak to the importance of that, and again, how you've been able to do that with them.
Man, it's just a 2-hour show.
Sure.
So I think on my deathbed, I'll look back and think this is the most important work I've ever done. It's so much fun and so rewarding. I use the analogy all the time. Again, we were sharing before the show. I feel like I've at Western State Colorado University. So it sits at the greatest elevation of any college in the United States. And I used to crack up with our VP of marketing because I can't use the word high in Colorado. And so it's a stuck in the middle of the Rockies, and it's gorgeous, and we get these students that come in. Some of them come in because they want to ski. Most of the Western students are middle class families. A lot of them are first gen college. And I use the analogy, I've crash landed a plane in this valley that nobody's been to, and I'm surrounded by all of this talent, and they don't know how good they are.
Yeah.
And it's so much fun to teach, to encourage, it's not about the facts, because they can find facts on the internet.
Sure.
It's almost like grabbing them by the back of the shirt and just holding them up to the marketplace and letting them see that. Now, I'm a business school professor, so marketing, sales, and so letting that marketplace see them, and the marketplace loves them. These kids, we're going to get you up there, but man, they literally know how to live under rocks. I mean, if nuclear war happened, I'm going there, because these young people survive, and that translates so well to business. As you know, you're a sales guy. Salespeople have to make things happen.
Yeah.
You have to every day make something happen. And these students know how to do that. They don't know that they do in the marketplace yet, and that's the joy that I get, is to be able to, from a business standpoint, help them see what they can get done. Because I get, it's really fun because I'm talking to a lot of these companies now, big companies that are recruiting and wanting to come to campus. They're coming to campus and talking about coming to campus, and they're blown away by the talent that we have.
Yeah.
So I think the next year or two are going to be a blast.
That's awesome. Yeah. And I know for you, I can even see it when you're talking about it. You just get giddy about
the
opportunity to get your students to see how much value they have, how much impact they can have. So that's super cool. So last thing, and then we'll finish. I know when you think like opportunity, what is opportunity for some of your endeavors right now? And I know you, and I know you're going to go others focused on this, because you want to create opportunity for the next generation. But a lot of what we try to do is just create opportunity for others. So if we're trying to think of what that looks like for you, how can we as a community come around Tom Miller to really promote change and opportunity with what you're doing?
Well, that's a great question. Thank you. That's a very unselfish question. Joe, there's a few things for those listeners, people that are into your podcast or part of this community that are interested in giving into a future generation and investing in that. Our kids need to hear from. It's interesting. I've learned that they love actually hearing from people like you who are younger than me, and who are. It's the second job, so it's not the first job out of college. They know what that looks like. It's someone who's gone beyond that, and that stretches them. They just need to see the vision, and I think most college students are like that. I don't. My college kids, my students have talent. Many of them could be at multiple schools, and so they're good, but they're at Western in front of me in a classroom, and I want them to see the Joe Crenshaws of the world, the Ross Pattersons of the world, the Jamshid Sultanzadas coming in from Afghanistan. All these people that are doing big things spread around the world, and so that they can look at you and see a vision for what their life could be like. Not that they want to be exactly like you, kind of back to that character community choice, and they're going to do their own thing. But I want them to see people who have stretched, who've grown, who've made a difference in the marketplace, and because of that, have options to make a difference in the world. That's what I'm looking for. So anybody that can contact me that has ideas and the ability to execute around that, I'm in.
And that's why, and so you guys know, and specifically to you, like that's why you stand out. That's why you've always stood out. Because when I ask you, how can the world help Tom Miller? Your answer is, here's how the world can help Tom Miller help everybody else. Because
that's what it's about, Joe. That's
and I love that. The same thing. So
I think if everybody does that, then we got a pretty good gig going.
Yeah.
And then I win. I mean, here's the thing: you win individually if your community is helping you do what you do.
Yeah.
And so I just think it's a cool way to do life.
Yeah. I love it. Well, dude, thanks so much for coming.
I'm honored that you'd ask me, man. It's always good to hang with you and fun to be part of the show.
Yes, sir. Yeah. So thank you guys as well. We appreciate you guys watching. I'll get you connected to Tom, put his info in the comments so you can see everything. But we'll see you guys next time. Thanks, sir.